Friction. I'm being told I can just rub some stuff together and create some heat, but I'm gonna need to see some evidence first. Let me consult what every scientist consults. Lost in Blue for the Nintendo DS. Alright, let's boot up Lost in Blue. I've got the secret mouse version of the game. Not a lot of people know about this version, but you know, I'm pretty familiar with it. And as you can see, immediately this friction thing is a scam. That was unbelievable. I'll give it another whirl, but like this is obviously fake. I would never buy into this conspiracy ever. Well, I mean, I am seeing some smoke. This is looking a little bit promising. I mean, maybe there's... Oh yeah, no, I got this. Oh, please. Oof, okay, yeah, I'm sure that'll stay fun for 12 hours. Yeah, that'll be fun the whole time. You know the feeling of finishing a book? I don't. But I'm gonna pretend like I do. Let's go back to 7th grade, where you did read. Even if the school-assigned reading wasn't the best, it always felt good just to get done with the book. This feeling carries over to a lot of random stuff in life, like getting a project done or cleaning your disgusting filth off of something, or even just going outside and touching grass. Isn't it as easy as sitting there watching your 4th summoning salt video in a row? Hands covered in the dust of half a Cheeto bag? But the act of pushing through some sort of effort barrier almost always comes with some happy brain chemicals at the end of it. I think you'll find that all games, even the easiest ones, have some sort of friction that you have to push against as you play. Oh, no, don't worry. I see you in the back, mouth half open, breathing heavily, pointing fervently at your copy of Animal Crossing that you've put over 350 hours into. I get it. You like laid-back farming simulators that let you pretend you could own a home and work a blue-collar job. Truly a fantasy land only accessible in the furthest recesses of your imagination. Bro, who is fitting in that house? These chill, relaxing games don't wear their points of friction on their sleeves, but they're absolutely there. In like all of those farming games I was talking about earlier, where you're farming crops so your home doesn't get repurposed into a Shake Shack, you start with these like terrible tools that don't really get much accomplished at all and make a lot of chores really tedious. These prehistoric tools are a point of friction that feel good to push through and upgrade, but I don't think anybody is saying Harvest Moon is the Dark Souls of farming games just because you've got to upgrade your watering can. And leveling in MMOs in general is a pretty easy process, but it can take you hundreds of hours. But I don't think a lot of people would consider it a very difficult process. However, there is a lot of friction between you and being max level, and I understand why a lot of people even ask why bother with leveling. That's not what I want to do. It's generally not as fun as the endgame stuff. Hell, Blizzard has been reducing the time it takes to level for each and every expansion, and has for the last couple of expansions allowed you to just bypass it. And I can't blame anybody that pays either. Getting to the part of the game that dispenses the most dopamine into their brain as fast as possible is totally understandable. Devs have seen this craving for streamlined features and have been trimming the fat in games for a while. Old school boomer RPGs are a really good example of this. Just look down the insane lineage of Final Fantasy games. I wouldn't want to spoil any of the games from like 20 years ago for you, so I'll pause the video right here and give you a chance to go play through them all. Just real quick, Final Fantasy II has you doing some crazy tedious stuff, like grinding individual levels on spells. We've even seen a little bit more modern example of this in Borderlands 1, where you would gain proficiency with weapon types as you use them. Both of these games have moved past this idea. There wasn't anything really fun or interesting about spamming spells over and over in Final Fantasy II. And in Borderlands, it's a lot more fun to be able to switch to new and exciting weapons than be stuck to one specific weapon type the entire game. This is just two examples of older mechanics that we've smoothed out and streamlined over the years that I think is actually overall pretty good. We don't really lose much by reducing these points of friction here. We spend more time doing the fun part of the game rather than tedious parts. Now, we jump over to modern Final Fantasy games, and these are very streamlined. Let's just take party management as an example. We've gone from making a team of heroes, each with a combination of jobs and sub-jobs, to choosing a team of 4 from a set list of available characters, all the way to just one skill tree on one dude. This is very streamlined, and I can't lie that you spend almost no time in menus and all of the time playing the game in more modern Final Fantasies. But I can't help feeling that we've lost something along the way. I don't want to be all boomer doomer about this and act like new RPGs are trash and old ones are good. There's definitely some reductions in friction we've had that have more nuanced effects. The experience share changes made in Pokemon X and Y is probably the best example of this. If you're not familiar with this, it used to be that only Pokemon participating in the battle got experience, but now, all of the Pokemon in your team get experience, even if they weren't in the battle. This makes it so you can focus on using the right Pokemon for the battle, instead of trying to use Pokemon not fit for the situation just to get them experience. But even with a cool, well-designed system like this, I still feel like something was lost. You remember this guy? He sells you like a sketchy, black market, back alley Magikarp that probably wasn't sustainably got. It's a scam, sure, all it knows is Splash, and it's level 5, but this is way earlier than you can get an Old Rod and catch a Magikarp the normal way. It can't fight, but you can put it first and then swap in another Pokemon to give it a little bit of experience every battle. If you dealt with this friction point and swapped Magikarp in and out every single battle, you'd eventually be rewarded with an early Gyarados, which just felt like cheating. You can do this exact same thing in the Let's Go remake of Gen 1, but it just doesn't really feel the same. You kind of just buy the Magikarp and stick him in your party until he evolves into something more useful. It feels less like I'm overcoming something and being rewarded with it, and more like I'm just stuffing a Magikarp in the microwave until it turns into something useful. This is a really specific example, but there are a lot of Pokemon that have weak early stages that compensate by having strong endgame phases. Skipping the struggle of dealing with a weak Pokemon makes it so the reward of having a strong one doesn't hit nearly as hard. I don't know what the perfect amount of friction is. I don't know if Pokemon should cut experience share or if it should just remove the need to heal between battles, or if auto combos should be removed or if they should be in every fighting game. If you should be able to skip content you find boring, or if everybody should have to push through it. It can be tempting to find these areas of friction and just take them out to keep players interested. In an era where we try to remove everything between us and our next hit of dopamine, it's really hard to see any value in the moments in between. But they bring value to the things we're trying to achieve, even if they might seem tedious on their own. I know they can be hard to appreciate while you're dealing with them. I'm charging that. It should work. That should just work. I disagree. But they can help contribute to some of the most fulfilling experiences. So, the next time you complete a game, or win a set online with a newly practiced combo, take out a boss, or just finally get a plant to grow, I hope you can look back, even at the small things you had to do, with a feeling of accomplishment. My Magikarp's done.